Okay, so we are actually starting with ophthalmology. So, in ophthalmology, the first thing you should consider and you should know is basically the basic structure of an eye. So, when I've drawn the basic structure of this eye, and when I draw this, what I mean is this is considered, okay, to be as the cornea. And the thing is, what I am basically considering it, okay, and everyone is else is that is this is considered to be a sclera. And this junction that is basically present between the cornea and the sclera is basically considered to be as the limbus. And that's how we can basically know these structures, of course. And then after that, this that is basically being considered as the iris, okay, on both the ends, of course. And then this is considered to be as the pupil. This is basically just behind this is considered to be as the lens. And then after this, what else you should basically know and you should remember in this particular case is so these structures that you are seeing over here is considered to be as a ciliary body. But the thing is, this structure that is present right here till this, that I'm shading it right now, is considered to be as the pars plicata. And then the remaining structure, okay, is considered to be as, okay, I'm shading it like that, okay, it's considered to be as the pars plana. And you should know that these two actually is a part of the ciliary body itself. So if I have to mark it, I will just do this and I would just say that they are the ciliary body. As simple as it is. After knowing about that, okay, what else you should basically remember in this basically particular structure is basically considered to be as this is basically considered to be as the retina. Okay, and the thing, okay, that you should know is that behind this pars plana, there's basically a structure that has basically been present surrounding the posterior portion of the eye, and that is considered to be as the choroid layer. So, yep. And the remaining parts of it basically would include, okay, so this is as the ciliary process. So I was just lighting it because yeah, ciliary process. And then so these are called as the zonules. Okay, did you get it? After knowing about all these things, I have my own notes that is basically been made. So this is basically this actually structure is basically been drawn to make someone remember that this is the basic structure that you should remember is basically this structure of the eye. Then let's get into details of it. So I have my own notes. So yeah, so when I get into the notes, okay, over here, I would just simply tell you that, okay, the anatomy of the eye, that is actually the shape of the eye, is aspherical. It's not spherical, it's aspherical. Okay, then these things is actually not that important, but you have to remember the volume of the eye is actually 6 ml, and the axial length of the eyeball, that is about 24 mm. Okay, the anterior posterior, okay, basically eyeball, again I would say that, so that would be considered, okay, including from this area, okay, to right over here. So this hole is basically to be 24 mm, or about 2.4 centimeter, yeah, cm. So 24 centimeter, 22.4 centimeter, or 24 mm, that's what it is. And then after this, okay, I have also not told you about that is this is considered to be as the anterior chamber. And this is the posterior chamber. So the thing is, this is considered to be as the anterior chamber, and this basically this space that is actually I'm highlighting over here is considered to be as a posterior chamber. And these two things basically contain a single fluid that is named as the aqueous humor. So that's a basic anatomy you should know. After knowing about the anterior chamber and the posterior chamber, there's another cavity that's present behind the lens, and it basically consists of vitreous humor itself. And after you should basically tell this that it consists of a vitreous humor, and it is considered to be as the posterior segment. So now this diagram that you should know is almost complete. That is, this basically is considered to be as cornea, and then this is basically sclera, this is actually limbus, this is basically iris, and this is ciliary basically process, this is zonules, this is the lens, posterior chamber, the anterior chamber. Okay, this is considered to be as ciliary body. It has two parts, parts plicator, parts plana. Then there is basically retina, there's a choroid layer, it consists of vitreous humor, it consists of the aqueous humor. So, and the whole anterior posterior, we can say length is about 24 mm, and in other words it would be about 2.4 centimeters. Yep. And yeah, that's pretty much okay. And if we will just there are certain things, let's remember in a quite we can say a different manner. Okay. Yep. Now let's this is basically considered to be as a basic we can say structure of the eye. Then after this, that's what I've told you. The eye is aspherical. That's an important point. Then after this important point, okay, the volume of the eyeball is about 6 ml. That's actually an important point as well. Then after knowing about that, then you should know about the layers of the eyeball. Okay, so if you know, the thing is there is 3 layers, okay, to the eye, that is basically considered to be as the outermost. Then there is the middle, then there is the innermost. When I know and when I say that I'm talking about the outermost layer, actually you should know, and from this diagram itself you were able to identify that the outermost layer that I'm talking about right here, okay, is basically sclera, limbus and cornea. So of course the cornea, limbus and sclera forms the outer structure, the outermost layer. So the thing is, when you actually know that sclera, okay, is basically being the part plus cornea plus limbus. Okay, let's go into details for this. Okay, and the innermost, okay, let's talk about the innermost as well. This innermost part, when I talk about the innermost part, what you are able to see, what is the innermost part in this diagram itself? Of course, yes, you get it right. The innermost part is this retina. Are you getting my point? So the thing is, the innermost is retina. And when I talk about the middlemost, the middle part of it, it basically consists of the rest of the structures which is basically being present, not being specified otherwise. And that basically would include, of course, you will say that it will include iris. Iris has not been included, okay. Then, of course, ciliary body is basically not been included, and along with the choroid. So that's it. It's actually simple. It's iris, choroid, and the ciliary body. So you get to know what is the outermost structure, the middle structure, and the innermost structure. Is it okay? After knowing about that much, let's go into details for this. We will talk in just like simple details, not too much, okay. But the thing is about let's draw a simple diagram just to know the things are. So when I talk about this is the eye, and this is basically what been visible right down, okay, this position. Okay, what I'm trying to draw over here is that this is considered to be as the sclera. This is considered, okay, to be as the cornea. This is considered to be as the pupil, okay. And actually this is being present, this whole structure is considered to be as the cornea, okay. And this basically, this structure that is basically present over here is visible, is actually the iris. Okay, so now you are totally confused what I'm talking about right now. I get it. So this whole structure, okay, so you get the most important, like it's the easiest part of it, that is the white. This is actually the eye. This structure that is present over here is sclera. It's simple. It's actually white in color. Okay, you get it. But this basically the eye that you are basically being visible over here, okay, is actually nothing but, okay, it is a transparent layer, okay. So the cornea is nothing, okay. Sclera is an opaque layer, white in color. When you see your eye, it is actually white in color. Then you see the middle structure, which is actually transparent in basically is actually transparent, and you're not able to see it, of course, and that is basically the cornea. Okay, so what the things, the next question that that may arise in your mind is that no, what are you saying? I am able to see a certain color, okay, and a dark black color present in the center of my eye. Okay, so I would just say that the center structure that you're able to see is basically be considered as the pupil, okay. That's what I've donated here, basically with a white color, okay. That's actually the pupil. And then the color that you are able to see is nothing but the pigmented layer, that is the iris. that is present or situated behind the cornea. Okay, so you get it in a clear way that actually what you are seeing from that structure that's present, okay, basically in the surrounding the sclera is basically cornea, which is actually transparent layer through which you are able to see iris and pupil. That's it. That's the thing that I can say, and they can make you understand in a very simple way. Okay, so that's what it is. But let's dive into in detail slightly. So when I say sclera, sclera is white and opaque and covered by conjunctiva. Okay, so I will get into details of conjunctiva later on, but that's what it is. And just giving, if you want to just know that conjunctiva is nothing but again a transparent mucous membrane covering the 5/6 part of the eye, covering 5/6 part of yeah, the eye, externally of course. And so you would just say that yeah, I will just make you understand. So yeah, that's what it is. Just focus it on. There's a transparent mucous membrane covering 5/6 part of the eye externally. Okay, then okay, so you just get it, and then we move on. The cornea. Cornea again is actually a transparent membrane that I've already told you, and behind cornea you're able to see two structures that I've already mentioned, that is iris and the pupil. It's actually that simple as it is. Yeah, but in the middle layer, okay, and let's actually get into details slightly more. That is it covers the anterior 1/6 part. So sclera actually covers the posterior 5/6 part. So sclera is a white opaque layer covered by conjunctiva, covers posterior 5/6 part, and then the cornea is actually a transparent membrane. Behind the cornea is actually iris and pupil, and the anterior 1/6 part. So basically it's basically been covered by it. Then after knowing it, to get into details of this much, the things you should know is yeah, and of course as well, it is actually convex in structure. Okay, and that's why it has power. It's actually converging in nature. We'll get back into details when we talk about it in detail. Then this is actually the middle layer, and this middle layer basically consists of an iris, okay, ciliary body, and choroid that we have already mentioned it. So yeah, nothing else to be mentioned. And the innermost basically has the retina itself. So yeah, that's what actually the layers of the eyeball is. So the first thing you should know is the anatomy of the eye. Then after this, the layers of the eyeball should be mentioned: the outermost, the middle, and innermost. And you will just, if you know this diagram, you will get the about 90% of that I've talked about right now. Okay, so yeah, that's what it is. And let's go slightly in detail. Okay, now the thing you should know is about a thing. Let's use this space as well. Okay, the thing is, As I've already told you that in the eye, we have fluid. Of course, that we are talking about the aqueous humor and the vitreous humor that we are talking about right now. The thing is, this fluid exert a pressure, and this pressure that is basically being exerted by this fluid, okay, is basically known as the intraocular pressure, the IOP. And this IOP, this intraocular pressure, just write it, intraocular pressure, basically is measured by tonometry. Okay, and then you should also know that the aqueous humor outflow rate is 0.25 microliters per minute per mm of Hg. You will just say that why you are talking about this rate and all, because it has actually been gonna ask in NEET PG, and now it's actually been next, or I don't know what it is, and yeah, that's what it is. And the aqueous humor, the one point that that have not been mentioned over here, it has basically been produced, or the aqueous humor is produced by the ciliary process. Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And this length of the aqueous of the anterior chamber is basically about 2.5 to about 4.4 centimeters. Sorry, mm actually. Sorry. So it's about 2.5 to about 4.4 mm, or average 3 mm would be the way to learn it. After getting to know about this in detail, let's talk about the structure of the cornea. So yeah, so that's the end of this basic anatomy of this is the end of the video for the basic anatomy of the eye, and yeah, so we will meet. Okay, until next time.